Oh, Lord. I've just been chilling today so far. It's so dark outside, like the time change is ridiculous and the weather is insane. It's like that's one thing that I'm kind of like glad that I'm not working right now, because when I was working this time last year and everything, like walking back and forth in the cold and everything, and even though I'm still kind of dealing with the seasonal changes, and shit like that. And then, like, idiots that I don't understand people that they literally know they're sick and they still come to work. And it's like you're making all the rest of us sick. And then by the time you get better, we're so sick, we end up spreading it back to you. And it just keeps going back and forth. It's like if you're sick, you need to, I don't know. And I get with the way work is and everything, like jobs and shit, and like people are like, well, I need my job and I need my money and I need, and this and that and everything, but damn. Like, and I get that they're like, some people are like, oh, well, that helps build up your immune system, and stuff. But there's always going to be something out there that can make us sick come hell or high water. Because if there wasn't, then we would be immortal. And that's never going to happen. Like, God's going to kill us all. Or we're going to die by the hand of God, I guess you'd say. Like, it's. But, anyways, I don't know. It's like I love that I just woke up a few hours ago, so I hadn't been up that long. But I hate that I'm staying up late at night, especially when I'm not working. And I was working nights, so I see it as like useless time. And like last night, one of my neighbors, I could tell it sounded, well, I'm not sure, but it sounded like she was getting irritated that I was up. So that's the reason I slept on the couch. But like I said, my couch is more comfortable anyway, so whatever. But I just ain't got nobody to spend time with. Like, that's the reason I went and hung out with my friend Jen yesterday. Like, I just got all hyped up, and I finally got the damn coffee maker to work. And I made coffee, and dang on, I was all hyped up, and I was like, it's about 4:30 or 4 o'clock. I think I'm going to head over and see what she's up to. And I just showed up, like, abruptly, and like she was laying down to sleep. And then I got to go to the store with her, though, so that's the plus of me going over there. But it's like, I hate just popping up randomly because, like, that's one of the first things that she told me. She's like, oh, you can show up anytime. I feel awkward, like, doing that. And then she was talking about somebody one day that just showed up, what was it, to look at a place that was for rent here or whatever. And they just showed up and they're like, hey, I came to look at this place to rent, and I'll be there in 30 minutes or whatever, or 15. And they just showed up. They didn't ask, and she's like, how presumptuous, about them. And so I took that into account. And I've mentioned to her that I don't feel right just like showing up all the time, to hang out with her. And she's like, no, you're fine, and every time I go over, I'm like, oh crap, should I have not came? And so she was laying down asleep, and her boyfriend answered the door and let me in. And then he's like sitting there, glued to his phone, and I was like, where's she at? What's she doing? And he's like, oh, I thought she knew you were coming. And I was like, no, I just swung in. And he's like, let me go see. And she was laying down. And she got up, and she acted like it was no big deal. She acted like she was kind of glad to have a distraction a little bit, maybe. Like, maybe because she was, like, kind of depressed, I guess. But, like, I can't be certain. Because she might have really wanted to go to sleep, and I might have interrupted her sleep time. But we ended up heading out, and we went to the thrift shop. And then she went to look into this thing that was supposed to be free, and come to find out it was a gimmick. And it was like $500. Oh, pay $500, and if you reach the goal, then you'll get your $500 back, And it was like bullshit. And then we ended up going shopping, so I got some groceries. I should have got some cereal. I about did, but I ended up putting it back. But I wish I would have got some, because I got a whole gallon of milk, and I'm like, wait, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to drink that, by itself or use it, before whatever. Like before, yeah, it goes bad. So I might end up trying to get me a box of cereal here in a little bit or something. But, I don't know. I'm so weird and so fucking random. And then, like, I was like, I really need to do laundry. And, like, I literally have so much laundry because my kid and the fact that we have pets and the fact that we don't have a washing machine and dryer of our own and everything. And so from day one of me living here, like, it was like, let's go to mom and dad's, my parents' house, to do laundry. Well, because the dynamics of my family and just how weird and shit, I could do maybe 2 or 3 loads, but I could never do 5 or 6 if that's what I needed to. And they would only take me, like once a month to do laundry or whatever. Or once every 2.5, 3 weeks or whatever. But it was a while. It wasn't every week. Now, they kind of got good about it sometimes when my kid was in school and my kid would kind of complain. But if my kid didn't complain, then they didn't care, and we didn't end up doing it, and they didn't give a shit to come and get us. And my dad's like, I can't stand the washing machine running and listening to it, and just bitching and all kinds of shit. So we always fell behind in laundry. Every year we'd fall behind because we have pets, and pets make messes like little children. And we have blankets and stuff. And then my child, I swear to God, like, I don't know what her obsession is other than she's my child with blankets and string. Now, when she was little, she was obsessed with string or anything like a string, or a belt to a robe, or anything like that and stuff like that. Like, any type of tie, any type of anything. And she would even try to, like, tie it up outside on the porch when we lived with my grandmother and make mazes. Hell, she's even done it here. And, like, I would go out and it was like, I would have to figure out how the fuck to get to her because she's over there and I'm over here and there's, like, wads of string. It's like a fucking spider web. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm playing. Okay, it's supper time. Well, don't take it down. Well, don't do this. Well, step over. Well, watch out for, like, damn. Okay. Come in. It's time to eat. But she's always been obsessed with blankets, too. And probably even, like, with anything soft feeling. And that's the reason she likes pets and dogs and cats. Because their fur and the texture and stuff like that and everything. This child has, like, 25 fucking blankets. Just blankets. And it don't matter how many times I'd wash them. And how many times I'd tell her not to. And how many times I'd get on to her. And how many times I'd just get on to her. I never busted her ass for it. And maybe I should have. Or if I did, it was like 2-3 times her whole life. Because I would literally just wash the blanket. She would get a blanket out. The dog would spit up on it. And then she would take the blanket and throw it in the hamper. And then she'd get another blanket. And then she'd wrestle with the dog with it. And then the dog would use it like tug-of-war rope and chew all on it. And then she'd throw that in the hamper. And then she'd go get another damn blanket and throw it all on the dog. And wrap the dog up and try to carry the dog around like a damn baby or whatever. And then because the dog hadn't had a bath in the week, and it smells like a damn dog. And so I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And so it's always been like that and dealing with blankets and pillows and stuff like that. And I've just literally gave up. Like, I've just literally gave the fuck up. I'm like, blankets are just never going to smell good unless I can shut the door and keep the pets away, and it's my blankets and I'm the adult, But my kids, like, it's going to smell like a dog. It's always going to smell like a dog. There's nothing I can do about it. She makes sure it smells like a dog. There was a white blanket that she literally played with that my grandmother gave her. And I was like, don't give her that. She has plenty of blankets. And she's like, but she likes it because it's soft. I was like, I don't care. Don't give her that. That thing was tan within 3 days. Tan. Because it was so dirty. Because She laid it in the dirty ass floor when we was living with my grandmother, and I was like, that's a bad idea. And I was like, it's gonna stink. And she's like, no, it's not. And she played on it or whatever, and then she got up and then she sniffed it, and she's like, ooh, it does stink. And she tried to throw it in the hamper, and I said, no. I said, I told you not to lay it down. I said, you're gonna use that blanket, even if for nothing else, just to wrap your feet up because your feet are cold. I was like, it's still good enough for you to use to wrap your feet up. I was like, because your feet stink. You know, even if you wash them every day, feet just stink. And I was like, so wrap your feet up in them when your feet are cold at night. And so I made her do that for like a week. And so she kept it by the leg of the chair, like the, or whatever, like the foot of the chair. And whenever her feet would get cold at night, she'd pull her feet up to the side and wrap her feet up in the blanket and everything. And so she did that, and then she would still take it out on the porch in the afternoons and play with the dogs, tug of war with it. And so within 3 days, it was tan, and I'm talking like tan. And I had to bleach that thing like 5 damn times to get it back to being white. Like, this is my child. This is the way that it is. This is the way that it's always been. This is the way it was before I even moved out on my own and lived in my own place. And my parents know how my kid is. Because my mom, even when we lived with her, and even when we were still doing laundry over there on occasion before we ever moved the hell out, she's like, why is this so filthy? Why is this so dirty? And I would like point at my kid and be like, because of that thing there that did it. You know, like, she's just, I don't know, she's always been like that. And it's like trying to beat that into her head about cleanliness for as far as fabrics and stuff, it's like it always went in one ear and out the other. Now, whether that's changed since she's went and been with my parents for almost a year now, I have no idea. She might even be doing her own laundry. I have no idea. And that's the thing, too, is like, we live with my grandmother, and when we moved in with my grandmother, we only had one cat. And that's my cat, Stevie. He's 10 years old. But that's all that we had was him. And so she was like, why does it smell like smoke in here? Because my grandmother smokes in her house and stuff. And I'm like, because my mom smokes, because this and that. And so she noticed, you know, and she noticed the smell of that. And then my grandmother had a dog, and she noticed the smell of that. And she's like, why does it smell like this? Why does it smell like that? And I'm like, because that's what happens, is once you're around something, you go nose blind to it. And that's the thing, too, is like, with where I had my landlord go off on me about my house smelling bad or whatever. Okay, for starters, whenever you come into my home, there's a cat litter box, like literally right there. Because that's where the cat is kept in his crate. That's my other cat, Tiger. He's blind in one eye. He has an infection that can spread to the other cat. So he stays in a crate. He lives in a crate. And I change his litter box, but I swear to God, this cat shits like 7 times a day. And he pisses buckets. And I don't know how his kidneys have not like locked down, shut up, or what the fuck ever with as much as he pisses and shits. And then in my kids' room, I don't know what the hell is the deal about that room. But these dogs have an issue with that room. And they always have. And so when they got to go to the bathroom and they want to go right then and there and you don't hurry up and hop up and take them, they'll go in there and pee. Other than that, though, like, that's it. Like, that's it. And so I'm constantly cleaning the floor, well, not, but I'm cleaning the floor all the time in that room. And I'm changing the litter box as often as I can, but I can't afford to change it every day, every 3 days. And yeah, I can scoop it out every day, but it's really not going to do any good because I'm taking half the fucking litter out of the box. And then again, like I said, I can't afford litter like that because that's how much that cat pisses. He pisses buckets of piss in his damn litter box. And so these people come in that are the maintenance people, and they text the landlord and they say, oh my God, you know, it smells like ammonia in her house. So then the landlord comes and she's like, well, before she even showed up, she texts me and she's like, hey, when they're gone to go get you a new water heater for your apartment, you know, she's like, do you mind cleaning the floors? She insinuated that the smell was coming from the floors. And I was just like, I've had it. with her attitude about all kinds of stuff like this, and the way that, like, what landlord does that, sits there and says, hey, clean your floors, vacuum your house, dust this or whatever, whenever, I mean, and that's the thing, is this is my 4th year living here. She's known I had pets. I've paid all the pet deposits. I've done everything that I can do. I even paid for a fucking window to be damn replaced that I didn't fucking break. It was cracked when I moved in. She come and she fixed the crack, and that winter, whenever it was cold outside and it was hot in here, it cracked all the way. And she tried to put it off on my kid pulling a DVD out of the windowsill and saying that that's what cracked it. So I ended up paying for a fucking window to be replaced. And now she's wanting me to pay for all the floor, this laminate flooring, which looks like parquet to me from what I've heard, but supposedly I looked it up and it is laminate and everything. But she's wanting me to pay for this whole damn floor to be replaced in here. And I don't even know. That's another damn thing, is we got a squirrel that lives in the fucking attic, and the attic's been shut off since before we ever moved in, and the very first maintenance guy that worked here, because I mentioned it to her while he was outside doing work on my porch when I first moved in, and he's like, oh, I know what that noise is that you're hearing, that you're complaining about, and I was like, what is it? And he's like, it's a squirrel. He's like, it gets in through the chimney, because the fireplace is shut off too. They put a heater in it, and then the heater is one of those, it's in the wall, and so the landlord's like, don't use those or whatever, or I wouldn't recommend it, and fire-wise and all that shit. But anyways, you can still hear that little motherfucker occasionally. Now, granted, he ain't up there as much as he used to be, so he must have to squirm his ass something different whenever they fixed a hole that was in the back of the damn roof back here, like 2 years ago. Or a year and a half ago. But anyways, so, it's not the best place to live, it's not the worst place to live, but I'm tired of being treated like I'm the worst tenant, yet she keeps renting to me, and she treats me like, it's like, make up your mind. Am I a good tenant? And if I am, then leave me alone and let me just pay my rent, and that'd be the end of it. If I'm a bad tenant, don't sign a lease with me. Let me get the fuck out. Let me know what you think of me. Don't sit here and bullshit back and forth with me. And when I'm trying to make this place my home, meaning I feel comfortable here, meaning, yes, I know that I have dogs, and the dogs shed, and sorry that I'm not anal Annie, or my OCD ain't like it used to be when my kid was 2, which was 10 fucking years ago, that I'm sitting there going, oh my God, there's dog hair. Oh my God, I need to vacuum it up right now. Oh my God. And this landlord even made a comment about a woman that did, this woman did have OCD, and then she called the landlord a bitch, and the landlord didn't sign a lease with her, and because of that, because it made her mad, and other issues they were having, bickering back and forth, but then the landlord has made comments that she misses the woman because of her OCD. I fucking can't. I can't deal with people. I don't even know why the hell I'm alive. I try to live, and But anyways, so I was like, back to today, waking up and everything, I was like, I'm gonna do laundry today, or if not, I'm gonna get laundry together, and so I just started like an hour ago and started kind of separating it and everything, and, I just got a bunch of shit to do, and I was just like looking at stuff, and I was like, I don't really like this that I own clothing wise or whatever, and I'm like, I really like this though. I wish I had money to buy this instead of this, but I don't have the money right now, and so I have to take the best of both worlds, I guess you'd say, and I was just like, Lord, to have enough money to not necessarily reinvent yourself, but actually become who you've been trying to fucking become since you was like, yeah, I'm an adult, and fuck what my parents saying. I should be able to, dress how I want to or live how I want to. And that's the thing too. Like, I'm even sitting here looking around at my house, And there's like this one wall of stuff that I'm like, I practically like all the decorations I have hung there. And even though one of them's from when I was with my husband, well, actually two, and there's actually a third one that's separate, I'm like, I might end up getting rid of everything on this one wall and selling it just as a set, for whatever. Because it's shit that I had with my husband. And I am such a fucking caring person that when I buy something for myself, it's not normally just for myself. It's usually, oh, I like this, but does so-and-so like this too? And so I'm a mom. And so my kid's been home. And so that's the reason my home looks, I don't want to say kid-friendly, because even if I didn't have a kid, my home would still look kid-friendly, I guess you'd say, or what the hell ever, but it's not purely me, I guess is the best way to word it. It is a combined liking and effort of mine and my daughter's. And that's one thing that's really hard about being home all this time without her, that has made it very emotional on me, to where I'm sitting and fucking crying more than I friggin' need to, is this is our home. Like, this is our home. And like, granted, when I bought some of these decorations and stuff, it's when I was with my husband, and I'd send him a picture because he was on the road and be like, do you like this? I do. And what do you think of it? Or do you think it's worth this amount of money? Or, stuff like that, because I was making it our home. And then he abandoned ship, and just fucking left and abandoned us. And so, even when he left, and when me and my kid moved out and got everything out of the building, I asked my kid, I was like, I mean, I know this has memories of your life a little bit and everything. I was like, but do you still like it? Do you still think it's something good for us to have, me and you? Do you still like it, this and that? Or do you think I should get rid of it? Because, I mean, it was her home too. And she's like, yeah. And that's even like her damn bedroom. Before we moved in here, we knew this was a 1-bedroom. But we knew we were going to turn it into a 2-bedroom. Didn't know how. Thought about taking the 1-bedroom and just hanging a curtain in between it. But then there's this other little room, closet, whatever. Big closet, technically, but whatever. And and then the living room, I'm sure you've seen on my videos or whatever, it's just open. It's just an open living room. And so I thought about even kind of hanging a curtain in here and putting my bedroom in here, and then she'd have the bedroom, and then we'd have the living room, And we'd find a way to put the dining area all the way in the back corner of the kitchen, because I actually had the kitchen table in there. God, that was hell. That took multiple effort off of me and her, because we had to lift that sucker up and carry it and be sure not to hit nothing and everything. But we got that table in there, and we slid it up under there's a shelf in my back corner of my kitchen. And we slid it up under there, and granted it took half the table, but we still had half the table that we could sit and eat at. But, I mean, I was trying to make it work is the best way to word it. I was trying to make it work. And so my kid gets the big room, and I end up making a little room for myself. Well, before we moved in, though, she said she'd take the little room and I'd get the big room. So I got her bed frame put up in there, and I got her dresser, or her chest of drawers and dresser in there, and all kinds of shit. And my parents would never give a shit to take me to get a mattress for my child. So the bed frame literally just sat there for 8 months. And after about 8 months of it just sitting there waiting on a mattress, that's all it needs. That's all it needs. And my kid will have a bedroom. And nobody will take me to get it. And what I mean by nobody is my parents, because my parents have been my only anybody to do anything. I don't know how to reach out to other strangers and people and be like, hey, you want to take me to get a mattress for my kid? And so it sat there for 8 months. Well, I got tired of it, and the bed frame's just sitting there. And so I had boxes still in my kitchen, sitting on the shelf where we hadn't unpacked. And I was like, well, shit, I'm just going to set these boxes in here for right now. So that's what I did with her bed frame, is I set a bunch of boxes on it, piled a bunch of boxes on it. So then it sat there for another 6 months or 8 months. And I was like, okay, it's ridiculous that it's sitting here together, and I can actually make more room taking the bed frame apart. That way I can fit more boxes in here for the time being until we're able to get you a mattress. So that's what I did. And so my kid's sleeping with me or on the couch or even on the air mattress in the fucking floor, right next to my bed. Or I'm sleeping on the air mattress and she's in the bed. Like, we're taking turns sleeping however we want, wherever we want. And so then I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Your Nana and Papa don't give a shit if you ever have a bed, apparently, obviously. So I'm like, we're just going to sleep in my bed. So me and her, we're sleeping in my bed for the next, year, I think. And then these neighbors that are beside us, I don't know what the hell happened to them at what point in time. I don't know if, because we have air conditioning unit, and so you just got the vents to the sides of it, and so there's no soundproofing. And so I don't know if people overheard our conversations, didn't like what we was saying and got mad, or if it was just people just changed. I don't know. But these people got loud and obnoxious. And not only that, they would pull their fucking vehicles up in the grass that was to the side of my apartment, right where the window was, rev up their vehicles and sit there and work on them. And I'm trying to sleep so that way I can go to work. And my kid's trying to sleep. That way she can go to school and everything. So I'm like, fuck, this ain't gonna work. So then, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should put my bed back in that small room if I can fit it. And so I go in there and I pull everything out of that room and I measure it. And I'm like, oh, it'll barely fit, but it can fit. And I'm like, we're gonna do that. And so my kid for the longest is like, no, no, no. And so for the longest we don't. But then we finally do. And then she's like, well, where's my room going to go? And I'm like, you get the big room. So she's all excited. And so within this last year of when she was home, this third year of us living here, I just let her do whatever she wanted to with the room. And then she drug out a bunch of shit and just laid it all on the floor, and it was getting ruined by the pets and stuff. So I went in there and I was like, I'll hang all your stuff that, you want. I said, I can't guarantee I'll hang it where you want it hung. I said, but I'm going to pick up stuff every day and be like, do you want this? Do you want this? Or is it trash? Do you want this? Do you want this? Is it trash? And for the majority, my kid, yeah, I want that. Yeah, I want that. Yeah, I still like that. Yeah, don't give that away. No, I still like that, Mommy. No, don't give that away. So I go in there and I decorate her room. Well, she hit 6th grade. And she comes home after first 2 months of 6th grade. And one day she just comes in from school and it's like, I hate my room. It looks like a baby room. And the thing is literally just 3 or 4 months prior is when I got done decorating her room. And she come in from school the end of 5th grade year. And I was like, ta-da! I was like, your room's done. It's decorated. Everything, here's all your colored pencils. Here's all your crayons. Here's your paint. Here's your hot glue gun. Here's your this. Here's all your arts and crafts. Here's your coloring books. Here's your toys. Here's your Legos. Here's your Barbies. Here's their clothes. Here's their this. Here's their that. There's the, I'm showing it. And she's like, oh my God, and she's like, I love it. And I'm like, do you really? And she's like, yeah. Well, I know my kids, so I'm like, do you really? And she's like, yeah. She's like, but I would have rather that be hung over here and this be hung over there. And I'm like, well, you can get your ass in a chair and get that down and switch it with that. And then she's like, no, it's fine where it's at. Anything to get away from hard work. And so she loved it for the most part, you know, other than everything wasn't exactly where she wanted it, but still, liked it. And she told me thank you. I don't know, for like almost a damn week, almost every day. She's like, "Mommy, thank you for doing my room. Mommy, I really like my room. Thank you. You know, I really do appreciate. I know it took you a long time, Mommy. I know you had to think, you know, really hard about how you hung stuff and where you put it. And I know you was in there days and nights while I was watching TV, measuring, you know, and hanging." And I'm like, "You're welcome." And then, like I said, she goes to sixth grade. 2 months into sixth grade, hell, she comes in the fucking door and she's like, and see, the thing is she'd been video chatting on her phone, which I did not want her having, and my dad insisted that she had one. She'd been going in her room and video chatting with her supposed fucking friends so they can see her room back behind her as she's walking around and everything. And she comes in from school 2 months into sixth grade and she tells me that she hates her fucking room, that it's a baby room, that her friends are teasing her about it, that she looks at her friends whenever they're video chatting, and her friends' walls are bare and they don't have anything hanging on hanging on the walls. They don't have pictures up. Instead, they just got plain white walls, and how it's so much more just clean and prettier looking and all kinds of shit. And then it's like, here I am, like, I'm like, what the fuck just happened to my kid? And then on top of it, I'm like, I'm a 80s baby. Like, I was born in the later of the 80s. I was born in 88. But, like, eclectic kind of, you know, or whatever, however you want to word it, has always been, it's the way I was raised. And then even at that, like, people that I've had come in, like adults that are not my landlord, but adults that have come in, you know, they're like, "Oh, it's so cozy. It's so cozy in here." And that's one thing that my husband even said about our apartment, and people even said over there, "Oh, it's so cozy. It's so quaint. It's so cozy," you know, or whatever. And I'm like, it's just me. It's just the way that I do it, you know. And I don't even do it to the degree that I do because I'm just doing it based off of me. I do it to make whoever is in the house with me, whoever else's home it is, I try to make it home for both of us. And now, since I'm sitting here alone, I'm just like, my life sucks. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, you know what? The next place I live, I'm going to hang up the things that I only like, and to hell with whoever's living with me, and to hell with what they like, and I don't give a shit. And so that's the thing, like me looking at my clothes and everything, I was just like, damn, if I had the money. If I had the money, I would trash over 50% of my clothes and go out and buy clothes that I know that I like. But I can't do that. I don't have the money. I've never had the money. And then that's the thing too, like about my friend, like her looking into that thing last night or whatever, and they's like, "Oh, it's $500 up front. But if you win the challenge, if you lose 20 pounds during the whatever, then you'll get your $500 back." And we were in the car after we left there, and I was like, holy shit, you know. And she's like, if I had $500 to spend on something, to just piss away on something, don't you think I'd piss it away on something that I really, really, you know, want to do and everything? And I was like, yeah, I get you there. And then I was like, and not only that, I was like, you know, it states that you're supposed to spend money, more like life philosophy lesson type shit, is like, oh, spend more money on activities. You're going to enjoy the fact that you did activities more than you do if you buy material possessions. Okay, I can go to the dollar store, honey, and I can buy something for $1 that I like. Okay? For $1. I'm poor, right? So I can buy something for $1 that I like, and that's going to make me feel good because I like that $1 item. I thought it was cute, or I thought it was funny, or I thought it was practical, or whatever the fuck it is. But I can buy it because I got $1. You tell me what fucking activity I can go out here and do for a fucking $1. That I can pay $1 and I can go skydiving. I can pay $1 and even go to the fucking park. Oh no, wait, I can't do that. Costs more gas money just to do that. Now I get like if it's like, though, like, well, you get gas money to go to the dollar store, what the fuck ever type shit. But how, if you are poor, are you supposed to enjoy your life? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I don't get how people do not fucking understand that. And she was like, there's articles of people, online where people are like, oh my God, I only make $80,000 a year and I'm so broke and I don't do anything and I don't know how I'm going to survive and I don't know how I'm going to make it. And $80,000? And you can't survive off of that? And some of y'all are single and saying you can't survive off of that? Like, now, I get, like, if you live, like, maybe, like, New York, and, like, y'all's rent there is, like, 3 times what the fuck ours is, but so is your pay, and so it's just more, and it balances out. But the ones of y'all that live right here, where I live, and you make $80,000 a year, it's just like, it's mind-boggling. And then some of y'all are the people that sit there and bitch about people like us that are sitting here fucking poverty line. And you're like, why don't you do more? Like, I swear. Like, sometimes I wish it was back, like, my grandmother lived through the Great Depression. And you had your rations, And Ava actually got to take one of the books my kid did, to the school to show off to her teacher that popped off to her about her being dyslexic and made fun of her in front of the whole damn class. But anyways, my grandmother still, like, got one. And he's like, oh, that's unique and this and that and stuff. But, that's rare for you to have that and everything and stuff. But everybody was put on the same level then. Everybody got whatever it was that they were required or allowed to get. One pair of shoes, however many pairs of pants, 1 gallon of milk, 1 loaf of bread to last a month, or 1 gallon of milk to last a month, or however much it was, I don't remember. But everybody was put on the same fucking level then, and I wish to God sometimes that shit would happen. I really fucking do. Because some of y'all people that sit here, and that's the thing too about options. There are so many options in the world over, not just in America, but in the world over. It's ridiculous. That's like I was talking in one other post earlier about, like, you go to buy fucking toothpaste and there's like at least 3 companies sold in every store. Even the dollar store's got 3 different brands of toothpaste in it, if not more. But some of them got more. Some of them got like 5 and 10 or whatever, different brands. And then on top of the different brands, you got to have the different flavors. So let's say there's 3 different flavors. And then let's say there's the tartar control. So you got 3 there. Then you got 3 for cavity protection. Then you got 3 for bad breath. Then you got 3 that's pro health or whatever, that's the best of the best. Then you got 3 that are whitening. Then you got 3 that are supposed to be everything. Then you got 3 that are for sensitivity. Then you got 3... I mean, it's just like a wall of fucking toothpaste or any type of fucking consumable product or whatever, or not, well, anyways, any type of shit like that. And it's just like, can we not all agree that we all want to have good teeth and, our breath smell good and no cavities and no tartar and, And then, like, what the fuck has happened? You know? But then I know that there is diversity in the world, you know, and everything. And, you know, just because one product works for one person don't mean it's going to work for the other. And then if you even go into race, you know, and different ethnicities and everything, then you got different products. That's like, you know, black people with their hair and everything. You know, their hair texture is definitely quite different, you know, from the majorities almost. Like their hair texture is really different. But I don't know. This world, it's mind boggling. And so, anyways, so this person that we went and seen or whatever was like, "Oh, you give us $500, and as long as you lose 20 pounds, then you'll get your $500 back. It's a challenge, you know." And it's like, you don't have $500, and that's just like to go do an activity, to go horseback riding. I don't even know how much that would cost. I don't even want to think about it. It would honestly make me cry. It would honestly make me cry. To go to any amusement park costs money. To go to any fairgrounds costs money. To go to even play fucking any type of little sport or anything, or to go to an arcade, or to go to a bowling alley or a skating rink or anything. Like, to go to a skating rink probably cost about $50, I guess you'd say. Because you got the shoe rental. I don't know, I ain't been in a minute, but we did have my kid's birthday party there, and the birthday party cost $200, and then we ended up spending like $250, $275 by the time we got out of there. So I guess that wasn't bad. But even if they have like free nights, you know, and stuff like that, you got to be able to get up there and everything, and you're still going to at least spend $20, $25, if not $50, like I said. If you don't have $20, $25, you can't enjoy doing that. But if you can go to the fucking dollar store and spend $1 on a little whatnot that makes you feel good, then that's what you're gonna do, because you're poor. And people don't understand that life. They really don't if they've never lived it. And it's very fucking sad. I am fortunate enough, though, to live kind of right in the middle of the shit, to where it's like, no, I am not rich at all, and I'm not somebody that's considered to have money. But I'm not as poor as they come. Luckily, I have been able to go to, you know, a skating rink in my lifetime. Luckily, I have been able to go to a bowling alley in my lifetime. Luckily, I have been able to go to amusement parks in my lifetime. And things like that. But I've not done it as often as I would like to, and as often as other people do. And that even goes for like games and races, and just, if you ain't got the money to do it, you don't do it. And then we got these people that are out here that spend $100 to get their fucking hair did. And yes, I said did instead of done. But they pay $100 fucking dollars to get their hair done once a month, or whatever, by these top salons, you know, or whatever and stuff. And they still have the lives of doing other things that they want to do and shit. And they're looking at people like us, and they're like, why do y'all have mental health problems? Why are you so depressed? And it's like, bitch, you know, it's like, think about it. Use your goddamn brain, you know, stop sniffing the hair dye over there for a week, you know, and use your brain and think about it. I am 30 years old, and I have yet to be at a, like, actual concert. I went to an amusement park, and John Anderson was there, okay? That's probably the closest I've even come to anything. And I love music. Oh my God, I love music. But I'm 30 years old and I've never been to a concert. I have been to, I've been to the circus. My kid was all about the circus, like just all about it. And so my parents flipped the bill quite often to a degree. Like, we went to the circus and we went to Ringling Brothers one time. And I hate to say it, but I was not impressed, like, with the way that they run their circus and do everything. But then again, I think it was just the fact, too, that it was like a high stress environment because it was such a big audience and everything. And then we also had somebody that actually had a seizure while we were there, like literally like 20 minutes in the door, you know. And it was somebody that suffered from epilepsy and they ended up having a seizure. And so that kind of put a damper on things, at least for me, not because like anger towards the person, but because like genuine fucking worry, you know. I was like, because they fell is the thing, and they fell on concrete. And I always had that in the back of my mind the whole show. Like, I was like, God, I hope they're all right. God, I hope they didn't bust their head too bad, you know. God, I hope they didn't lose any teeth, you know, or whatever. I hope they didn't break any bones, you know. Like, that's just me. But, like, I don't know. People just don't get it. People that have money that they can go out every single night or even once a week and do something, an event that's fun. And that's one thing that she even mentioned to me. She's like, because she's the one that used that example. I didn't come up with that example. She's the one that come up with the example about, if I see something that's $1 and I want it and I have $1, I'm going to get it because I'm poor, you know, and so I can't afford even to go to the movies because the movie ticket is at least $7, you know? And that's what it's like. That's what it's like. Oh, I don't have $7. I would love to see that movie, but it ain't gonna happen. And by the time I save up to where I do have $7 to see the movie, that movie is no longer gonna be playing in the theater because that's how fucking poor I am. But you know what? There's a little figurine over here, or there is a pretty scarf or something, you know, or even if, you know, like, I don't know, anything, a pair of earrings at the dollar store that's $1, I'm gonna get them because it makes me feel good. And like, people that have money just don't fucking get it. They really don't. They don't fucking get it at all. And that's one thing too, like about my kid being over at my parents'. My baby's got cable now. Hell, she ain't had it the whole damn... We ain't had it. We don't have cable. We don't have cable. We don't have anything. Like, the majority of people that I know, even the people that are on the poor ends like me, they've at least got a game system that's hooked up, that's, you know, they can pull up YouTube and watch stuff off of it, or they can pull up all this kinds of stuff, you know, with the game system, and or they have, what is it? Hulu or Netflix or what's the other one? But they have all these things that they have hooked up and shit because they can afford an extra bill. They can afford an extra little. I can't. We have a TV that is hooked up to a VHS tape player and a DVD player. And I have the Nintendo hooked up to it. And then my dad bought an antenna which picks up like a few basic channels, but nothing, like, and so by the time I see what's a new movie to me, and that's another thing too, man, this is fucking bullshit. I remember being a kid when I was growing up, and it'd be like, oh, there's a new movie coming out, you know, and it would be any movie. It wouldn't just be kid movies. It'd be any movie. It'd be like, oh, there's a new movie coming out. Okay, it'd go to theaters, and then it'd be, you know, on the store shelves where you could buy it, VHS tape, DVD, and then within a few months or a year or two, that thing was on TV. I swear to God, that's the way it seemed that way to me, or it was that way. But I'm pretty sure it was that way. Now, even if I had basic cable, like we did when I was living with my grandmother, by the time I see what's a new movie to me now, that damn thing's done been out for 10 fucking years. But it hasn't been on TV. It hasn't been on the basic channels. No, it's got to be on HBO, and you got to pay $25 or $50 extra just to see the fucking shit. I mean, do you know how hard it is to try to stay in the now, in the present? I guess you'd say, because that's the thing, like with God. If you're religious and everything, you believe you're supposed to live in the day. It is what it is. You don't look forward to the future. You don't look back on the past. But then everybody throws up looking forward to the future, especially when you gotta have goals, man. You gotta have goals. You gotta have dreams. You gotta have aspirations. What the fuck for? And if you're poor or poverty line like me, you learn really quick. You're like, yeah, that's bullshit. Like, you're just like, bullshit. I call bullshit. You know, like, you're just like, fuck it. But can you imagine going in to work and being like, oh my God, I finally seen this movie last night. And everybody's like, what is it? You know? And you're like, it's this. And they're like, oh girl, I've been done seen that. You know? I seen that like 2 years after it came out, or 6 months after it came out, or I went to the movies for that, and because they got more money. You know? And they come from a more well-off family. And you're just sitting there and you're like, yeah, but I want somebody to talk to about it because I really enjoyed it. That's just like music. And then there is so much shit. And I don't mean it in a bad way, because I believe in like freedom, art form, all that, you know, and everybody's different and shit like that. But there is so many movies that there is no way that one individual can watch every movie that's ever been created. There's so much music, there's no way one individual could listen to every song that's ever been created. Like, it's just too much. It's just too much. And that's the reason I'm able to step back, kinda. And like I said earlier, you know, I'm appreciative, and I'm like, hey, you know, this and that. Like, at least I did get to go skating, even though it was many, many years ago. And, you know, and I used to be able to go bowling, and I went, let's see, I have taken my daughter. My daughter is 12. We have went bowling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in her life, maybe 6. And then, even at that, what was it? One time when she was little and I was living with my grandmother, I was going to sign her up for the Big Brother, Big Sister program. Because they're supposed to help out with kids that, you know, like, don't have nobody, this and that, and, you know, and whatever, and their parents, you know, and, like, my kid's dad's never been part of her life or whatever. But even at that, you have to have money to do that. Like, you have to have a way to go, sign some papers or some type of transportation, or you have to meet at a certain destination and drop the kid off and all that and everything. And then my kid, she was so little at the time, she was like, Mommy, I don't want to go without you, and, you know, and stuff like that and everything. And I was like, baby, but I don't have the money to pay for me to do the stuff, you know. And I mean, people just don't get it. Like, I'm probably going to label this video The Broke Life, because I don't know what else to, because I mean, that's what I'm talking about and everything in it for the most part. But I'm going to end it here because it's coming up on another hour, and YouTube don't, but I'm going to end it. So, if you like my videos, comment, share, like, subscribe, and I will catch you later. And if you got anything to say it in the comments. Bye.